Disclaimer, Joss, Jules, and Nevermore are not professional therapists. They will be sharing their personal experiences and advice, but this is in no way a substitute for professional help. There is also a good chance of swearing, tears, and triggering conversations, so listener discretion is advised. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Slaying Demons, a podcast about facing your fears in life and being the best version of yourself. I'm your host, Jocelyn, and joining me, as always, are my wonderful ladies, Jules and Nevermore. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, Jules.
Hi.
So, we had quite the long, emotional episode last time. It was a lot of updates, a lot of what's been going on with us, and you know, like why we hadn't been recording in a while. So it feels good to get back into the, you know, bi-weekly kind of flow of the show. So I'm really glad that we're back and recording tonight. And instead of really, really sad, really emotional episodes tonight, we're going to talk about our goals for 2018. So this should be really, really interesting. And I guess right off the top, I just wanted to say, and I said this to the ladies in the Discord, I don't have any goals / don't know what my goals are. So this might be a goal planning session for me as much as anything else. For whatever reason, New Year's kind of came and went for me this year. And I guess I was just like distracted by other stuff, or I don't know. But for me, I don't have any kind of goals outside of like what was continuing on from 2017, which I think, Jules, you did bring up my weight loss, which is still happening, still going great. But I guess I don't really see it as a 2018 goal because we've talked a lot about weight loss and our struggles with and plans for and all that kind of stuff. So it just seems more like an ongoing thing for me, more so than like a goal for 2018. What do you think about that?
Well, you're building the habit of, you know, not having sugar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like changing your diet and stuff. So like it is kind of a goal. You're just not really recognizing it as a goal, I would say. But I do know what you mean. Like we did talk about weight loss a whole bunch. You both have succeeded way far more than I have in it. But I mean, you are really focused on making it work for both you and Matt. You know what I mean?
I think that's been the biggest thing, is that both he and I are being very dedicated to this whole idea of weight loss and the kind of like food plan that we're on. And my parents have also been really supportive. I went there for the weekend and my mom was like making sure that she had everything that I needed to make like my smoothie in the morning, and to make sure that like dinners that we were having were like vegetables that I could eat. And you know, like she was super supportive about all of that. So it's been really nice to have that kind of network. She was also, I went to my first ever bridal show this weekend, and she was even like, she was packing snacks and all kinds of stuff to make sure that I could eat when I was there. She's like, I know these things usually have like food carts and stuff, and it's gonna be so hard for you. And the number of like cake samples that they had there, and I was just like, no, I can't. I really cannot eat cake. And they were all just like, the willpower. And I'm like, oh, I really want to eat cake.
None of them had samples that were like something that you could have eaten.
No.
Like with all the dietary restrictions and stuff people have, that's nuts.
Well, I mean, it was just trying to give people an idea of their bakery, right? So they're not going to go and like have every single possible potential thing that they could do, because they want mass appeal, right? They want the most people putting their cakes in their mouths as possible. So yeah, I know why they didn't have like sugar-free cake samples.
Yeah.
I understand
like,
I'm a very, very small
Just
target
taste
audience.
Like what?
There'd be a market though for, especially these days, it'd
You
be
would
like,
think
hey,
so.
you got a keto cake company? Let's go.
Yep. Except they're never as good and light and fluffy as real
trying
cake.
to get in better shape. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
like here you go.
That's true.
Dream about this for a while.
It's a paradox though, because most brides are focused on making sure they look their best for the wedding. But then there's the focus on there must be a traditional wedding cake, and there must be, you know, which they're paradoxical. They're completely
Yep.
in opposite of each other.
You have to choose
Exactly.
the really good food that other people get to enjoy. And yours gets cold on the table, and you're like, what the
I
That's
will
right.
say, I did cheat a little bit on the weekend because I'd been reading about like keto, like weight loss plateaus, and how sometimes like your body goes into starvation mode because you don't have any carbs, so it's like storing everything it does get, even if you're like way exceeding your like caloric intake that you need. Your body's just like, nope, nope. I do not have this food group. We are clearly starving. So apparently, yeah, having like a small increase in carbs, like not going back to your regular diet, but going from like instead of trying to stick to like 20 grams in a day, go up to 50 grams for a day, just to kind of like assure your body that you're not starving. Even though, like, I swear to God, I'm not hungry, I'm not starving. Like, this isn't a starve myself diet. This is definitely like I am full all the time, with much smaller portions than what I'm used to eating. But yeah, so I did do the kind of 50-gram carb day, and I know I probably didn't do it exactly right, but I was traveling and I was really like, I really, really, really wanted a Tim Hortons coffee. So I had my normal double from Tim Hortons, which has like 32 grams of sugar in it or something, because it's like 2 tablespoons of actual sugar. And I'm like, this will
Wow.
do it. This will like shock my body back into like fat burning mode or whatever, because I'm down 10 pounds, but I have leveled off a little. So anyways, I had this oh my God, I could barely drink it. It was disgusting. I was like, how did I used to drink this? It's like syrup. What's even happening right now? This used to be my favorite thing. I used to have this like twice a day. Yeah,
Changed everything, didn't it? After you'd
did.
taken it away.
It did. And then so the next day when we were actually down at the wedding show, I had a regular Tim Hortons coffee, and even that was too sweet. And I was just like, damn, this is like half the sugar that my double has. Yeah.
That's like the girl at work. She's like, you know, if you're really trying, you should cut back on your coffee creamer. I was like, up. I was like, nope.
Let's
We're not gonna
not
talk
be
about
crazy.
I'm like, I need that. I will sacrifice having a fucking cookie. I want my flavored coffee creamer in the morning. We're done. No
Yeah.
discussions. End of story. We're done here.
That is totally me. I mean, you got to give me that, because in the morning, come on now, I'm trying to get my butt moving in the morning.
And everybody's like, oh, you should just have it black. I'm like, no, that's not a thing. My taste buds will not let that enter my mouth. No.
Speaking of coffees and mornings, the other thing that I've started doing when it comes to weight loss and my diet, which my ex-roommate recommended, he's doing the keto diet right now too, and he's a huge coffee drinker, and he's like, you have to do bulletproof coffee. Just try it. He's like, it's amazing. You don't even have to eat breakfast. Just do this coffee. It's awesome. So I tried it yesterday for the first time, and I was like, this is going to be disgusting. This is going to be the worst thing I've ever had. So if you guys aren't aware, bulletproof coffee, there's many different kind of variations on what exactly you can put in it. But basically, you make a cup of coffee, and then you add butter, coconut oil, and cream, like heavy whipping cream. And Nevermore's already like, no, I'm out. I also added like a half a teaspoon of my normal sweetener, because I was just like, it's like my cup of coffee. So anyways, and then you blend it all together so it makes it like a whipped kind of latte almost. Holy hell, it's good. It's so good. I was like, okay, Adam, you win. Like, I doubted
I
you,
would
but
try
this is
it,
delicious.
but I don't know. I don't know about that.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so creamy and delicious and awesome, and yeah. And it is your morning like meal, so it helps with like the fasting and stuff like that. Like, you're not having like hard solid food that your body has to work through. It's like kickstarts your metabolism without actually like having a meal, which is something I've always struggled with, because I can't eat in the mornings. It makes me feel sick. Like, no matter what I do, no matter what I eat, like the best I've been able to do is make myself a smoothie in the morning. But in general, like, I've struggled with that so much. So yeah, apparently I like coffee with butter in it now. sounds
if
freaking
it's
ridiculous.
flavored more like butterbeer, I'd be in. If it was like, hey, this is your morning butterbeer, I'd be like, yes. No,
It's
struggle
it's
too with
definitely
eating
the
in the morning.
weirdest diet I've ever been on. That's 100% for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely strange.
Yeah. It's like it's all the opposite things to what you think that you should be having. Just learning to live on proteins and fats is just it's so freaking weird, man. See, Runner Diva in the chat room has a friend who does bulletproof coffees too. So see, I'm not insane. Because it does.
No,
it totally
ton of
sounds
people.
like an internet prank, right? Like, oh, I bet if we post this on the internet, some idiot's actually gonna put butter in their coffee. Yeah, but it tastes so good, man, and it's like so good for my diet, and yeah, like
Can
actually
you share the
kickstarts
recipe
everything.
in the Discord? Because now I'm intrigued.
Sure, yeah, I definitely will. I just have one of those little magic bullets, so I just make like a 12-ounce cup of coffee and then put a tablespoon of each thing in and then whip it all together in my little magic bullet. It's so good.
I love that you use your magic bullet to make bulletproof coffee.
I never even thought of that. It's true.
That's awesome.
Jocelyn's waking up in the morning like, ready for the day.
Finger guns. Oh man. Chat room, you're just getting ridiculous now. But yeah, so in terms of 2018, bringing it back to 2018 goals, I guess like weight loss is still the goal. I kind of am hoping to be, so from where I started to where I hope to be for the wedding, I have about 35 to 40 pounds I wanted to lose in total, and I've lost 10, so I'm getting there. Like, I don't expect it to be like, it's a very much like a water weight off the top. Like there's a big drop all at the beginning of the diet anyways, so I expect it to be much more gradual going forward, but still a long way off, still a good like 25 to 30 pounds away from where I'd like to be. So which is kind of making me hesitant to try on dresses. Like we obviously went to the bridal show, and oh man, I feel like I said this to my mom and she was so sad for me, but I was just like, I feel like I'm going to hate absolutely everything I put on because I hate how I look right now. So I'm like, I don't want to do dress shopping. And everyone at the show, I swear to God, I came out of that show so stressed out and so upset because it was like everyone was telling me I was running out of time, and it takes like 9 to 12 months to get a wedding dress, and I haven't even started yet, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, like they were totally like bride shaming me, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, and I understand it's like a high
industry, though.
It is the industry, and it's definitely like the bridal show. It's very high pressure. It's very like choose me out of the 20 photographers here, or out of the 5 dressmakers here. They all want you to choose them. So I get that it's like a high pressure sales environment, and they're counting on me being overwhelmed and just saying yes, just to get it off my plate. I get that, but at the same time, I was just like, I can't look at dresses now. Like I can't try anything on right now. I'll hate it because I hate me. So there's no point. Like I could pass up on the dress of my dreams because I just wouldn't like the way that it looks on me right now. So I guess another goal would be like kind of tied into the weight loss, but kind of more of just a mental goal is like stop thinking about myself that way.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and kind of looking at it from a perspective of what would it take for me to not see myself that way.
Yeah, which I don't know, because like this is the same sort of thing that I've been struggling with, and I think all of us have been struggling with since we started the show back in what, like 2015 or 2016? 16. Just back when we started the show, I feel like we've all been struggling with that same thing with our like perceptions of ourselves and how we see ourselves, and like how we feel when we look in the mirror. I have no freaking clue how to actually change my mentality, because I feel like when I look in the mirror, I feel okay, I look okay, I think I'm happy. But then like I see pictures of myself, like my mom took a picture of me because I wanted to see, like there was this really cool like snowflake hair piece tiara thing, And I wanted to see what it looked like because I had just had my hair done and my stylist had curled it all. So it was this like really cool, curly, flowy kind of style. And I was like, this is kind of maybe how I'm going to end up wearing my hair. What does it look like with a hairpiece in? And my mom took a picture and I was like, I look like a gigantic. I had on my favorite white sweater that has this like big like cowl turtleneck thing on it. And I was like, I look ridiculous. I look like a gigantic igloo. Like, how could I be this big? This is my favorite sweater. I thought I like looked fine when I left the house. So I'm just like, I'm never going to be able to pick a dress with this mentality.
Yeah. No, it's the knee-jerk reaction, and that I'm sure Nevermore might both have, is to tell you, no, you're silly, but at the same time, I can tell you, and probably she could too, that we've both felt that same exact feel.
Dude, there's a meme of an orangutan like with his arms hanging down, and he's like, I tried on like all these swimsuits or whatever. At the start, I'm like, that's how it feels sometimes, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But we're also in a society where it's like, you take pictures and selfies or whatever, or you're on your show, like it's controlled by you. You know what I mean? So you don't see what's perceived as like an outside perspective or whatever of you, but at the same time, like your mom's just going to take a picture because she loves you and whatever, you know what I mean? And like it might not be the most flattering angle and you might not think you look great, but it's not necessarily like a truthful representation, if that makes sense. Maybe not.
So what you're saying
No,
is
what you're
like
yeah.
you have the ability, like we have the ability right now to control our narrative on video of exactly how we look and what's showing and what's not. And but if someone else takes that
camera is at.
Yep. But if someone else takes that photo, that's their control and not yours. And suddenly you know what you thought, like when you look at yourself in the mirror, like here's Jocelyn in the mirror, like putting her makeup on, she's doing the like side poses, looking up and down and saying, yeah, I look pretty decent going outside today, I feel pretty confident. And then one picture on a bad angle can change that entire perspective.
Yeah. And then like in Nevermore, you're saying that it's not necessarily a true representation. To me, or at least the way I think of it in my head, is like, well, that's obviously not only a true representation, but it's the only representation, right? Like that angle is clearly the way that everyone sees me, and I'm always making this stupid goofy face, and you see that negative. It's the same as like with bad online comments or any kind of negativity that we've talked about before. It's like it takes that one negative thing and it just sticks in your head because you assume that that negative thing is the one piece of truth because they're the only person who is actually telling you the truth and everyone else is trying to sugarcoat things for you. Or, that angle is the true angle, and all of the time that you're taking your own pictures, you're just being way too flattering to yourself and it's all a trick of the lens. You assume the negative thing is the truth and the positive thing is the falsity, if that's even a word.
Yeah.
It's so easy to assume that the positive thing is wrong and the negative thing is right when that may not actually be true. Maybe the making me look like an igloo photo is actually like my mom holding the camera wrong or something, but I don't think about it that way. I think about it like, oh my God, I'm walking around this show, everyone's shorter than me, I look ridiculous, like everyone's probably pointing and laughing at that girl with the stupid hair, like, and then boom, there goes the negativity spiral.
Yeah, because you immediately go to that photo and say that's how everybody else sees you. And it doesn't match the picture that you thought you had in your head of what you thought you look like.
Yeah, and then I start having the problem with my face that I have with like my nails, because often I'll have a picture in my head of what like my perfect awesome like nail is gonna look like once I'm done painting it, and then it's never as good as what's in my head, and I'm just like, this looks awful. That's how I feel about my face. So like I have this picture in my head and then I see a representation of it, I'm like, that looks awful. Same thing.
And there is not an easy way to say to yourself, if this then that, if I change this, then that feeling is going to go away. Because we've talked about this before. When you were 30 pounds heavier, you still did that to yourself.
Yeah.
We all did.
Yeah.
And you look at photos of yourself then, and you realize, oh, if I had only been nicer to myself then, because I said those same things to to myself when I was in that state. Oh, you're too fat, your face looks weird, and blah blah blah. So it's an awareness of, that self-loathing is probably always going to be there in some form.
Well, and like you have to think about it, and we're both disaster thinkers, so I hear ya. I totally hear ya. I've had people comment on my hair and stuff too. But flip side, there's probably people walking around who are like, oh my God, like, look at her hair. It's amazing. I wish I could do that, but I can't because blah, blah, blah reasons or whatever. Or like, I wish I was that tall, or you know what I mean? Like, there's going to be, for every person who you think is thinking bad about you, there's going to be tons more people who are thinking positives. It's just how it is. You know what I mean? And it's hard to see that other side of it, because Jules and I can sit here and just tell you you're gorgeous and we love your eyes and your smile and your laugh and blah, blah, blah. We could just go on and on and on. And that's not only because we love you and you're one of our best friends. It's like a lot of it is truth, and a lot of people also feel that way, I'm sure. But
see, even just when you just said that, a lot of it is true. I was like, does that mean some of it's false?
Well, and I mean, it's not to like blow smoke up your ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and I mean,
I don't know why people say that. That sounds so uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not like something somebody would do willingly.
Well, I mean, I don't want to speak for everyone because, everyone has their own kinks and stuff. But to me, having smoke blown up my ass doesn't seem like the pleasant thing that it's supposed to be representing. That's all I'm saying.
I love how
Revelations on slaying demons.
Completely inappropriate. This is how we truly help people.
Yeah.
Oh,
sorry, Nevermore. I interrupted your thought.
No, you're fine. It's just, I just want you to try to see when you're in that moment to like kind of try to stop yourself. Because I think you are too hard on yourself. Like, it is what it is. I think you're way too hard on yourself, and I can't say anything that will help you with that, if that makes sense, because I could tell you over and over and over again, and it's not really going to fix that. But if you try to catch yourself in that moment, like, you might be able to like flip, maybe not 180, but even if you could turn like 5 extra degrees towards the positive, you know what I mean? Sorry, that's my whole visual thing.
No, like, it does. It helps. It's like I'm turning my back on all of the positivity right now. What I need to do is slowly turn myself around. So even if I'm only seeing a little bit of the positive, at least I'm not only seeing the negative. So I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and giving yourself permission to accept the positive, because that's something that we are all, I think, and this is the collective we. Like, we are all very much prone to not accept the positive because it feels like you're being braggadocious. You're like, like, oh, I'm so great, right? I was being like, I'm so awesome. I'm so pretty and my hair's so gorgeous. Like, no, nobody does that unless they're like Kim Kardashian.
Some
so
people do.
Well, there are some people, and but I would say the majority of the people that I know don't.
Yeah. And it's hard to take compliments and stuff, and like, I get that or whatever, but I mean, you're going to have to suck it up, because for the next year or so, we're going to just keep gushing about things that you tell us and things that you show us, and like, we're going to be excited. So
deal with it.
Too bad.
All right, so that's pretty much all I've got for 2018 goals. I guess be more positive about myself, and obviously the ongoing weight loss. Jules, what about you? What are you thinking of doing for 2018 to better yourself?
So I am continuing with I've been working really hard with fitness and better eating and that kind of thing. And the wall that I have been up against is that in over 6 months I hadn't lost a single pound, which is probably one of the most frustrating things I have ever gone through, because, you know, when you work out 6 days a week and you make it a priority in your life to meal prep and eat a lot less food and all that stuff, it sucks. Like, it really, really sucks. And my parents were very concerned and wanted me to go and talk to a specialist, an endocrinologist. And so I first had to go to my regular doctor to even get a referral to the endocrinologist. That visit with my insurance cost me $350.
Oh my
Jesus.
Then I went to the endocrinologist, and that was the most humiliating experience that I've ever had in my life. Because again, I've been working for 6 months on doing this work, you know, and I have an app where I've logged every single mile, every single exercise that I have done. I mean, and it's full. It's like, you can see all of it. And this guy, I'm going to get emotional, but this guy was horrible. He basically, now I have hypothyroidism, which means my thyroid doesn't work as well. And I'm on medication for that, and it's medicated well. I'm in a good spot for that. We've tested it. You know, thyroid function is good right now. But I also have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is a hormonal imbalance. Basically, there are benign little cysts on my ovaries that cause my hormones to go out of whack, which cause a whole bunch of stuff that can be very difficult. And one of the major symptoms is that you have the lack of ability to lose weight. And so an endocrinologist should know like what to do with this, right? They should, have a sense of this. And I come there, he didn't even take a moment to evaluate my situation. He basically told me, well, if you want to lose weight, then you need to be eating about 1,200 calories a day, and you need to be getting your heart rate up over 160 for at least about 30 minutes a day, or you won't lose any weight. And, so here's what I'm going to do. If you can prove to me that you can eat less and get your heart rate up like that, then I'll put you on an appetite suppressant medication. But you have to prove to me that you are willing to do this. And it's in the notes that he gave me, like the aftercare thing. No exceptions. If you don't prove that you can do this, then you don't get the medication.
Jules, I swear to God, you have the patience of a saint. I would have punched him.
I was so like, well, the problem was that I was dumbfounded. This is a doctor.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do, right? So I'm sitting there like, I'm just, my brain is spinning out of control, and I'm like, am I hearing what I'm hearing? Like, is this really happening to me? And I walked out of there, and I immediately called my trainers, and they just sobbing because it was like, what the hell? Like, why is this so unfair?
Well, yeah, because, you've been down on, like, the diet that you've been eating has been, first of all, super good for you. Like, you're on super healthy meals, and you've been down to, didn't you say you were already aiming at 12 or 1,300 calories a day? Like, it's not like you've been eating 2,000 calories a day for the last 6 months.
Yeah. I haven't talked about this in public, so this is really hard. That visit cost me $450
on top of the first visit.
Yeah. Which is, it's just disgusting. It's disgusting about what we go through to try to even get help in this day and age.
Yeah.
So here's the good news. I spent a lot of time. I was so angry and so hurt and upset is that I just spent time doing research, and I dug in further than I'd ever dug in before, because I've dug in about PCOS before, and I found nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, there's just been no research. No doctors seem to know about it. And this time I was more successful, and I hit on a couple of websites that were not doctors, but people who would actually have PCOS and who have dealt with this and who are doing it on their own. And
Which is ridiculous that that's what it comes down to. Like,
yeah, it really is. It really is. And so one of the things that I've learned from this research is that I have most likely something related to insulin resistance. Kind of like diabetes, but it's not,
Yeah.
your body does not process insulin properly, which is why it's so hard to lose weight. And so there was this supplement that was recommended to me. It's a, kind of like mix into your water or mix into your coffee twice a day to help you with insulin resistance. And I went on Amazon and I read the reviews, like hundreds of them. And these stories after stories after stories are saying, this works. This works. This is the only thing that's worked for me. I've been on it for 3 weeks and I've lost 2 pounds finally.
Yay!
Yay, Jules!
Yeah.
Fuck you, stupid doctor asshole!
I know, right? It's just, it's like this has been the most frustrating thing I've been through, on top of a lot of frustrating things in my life. But one of the hardest things in the world is to try to do something right and try, like you're trying so hard to do everything right and your body is not responding.
Well, and especially when you have like people like myself, and I know Mark Honan, your co-host, is also doing the whole keto thing, and a lot of people call it like a fad diet. It's a quick fix. It's not sustainable. All this other stuff. Like you're trying to make significant life changes to your diet and your exercise schedule, and you're getting little to no results, and then people around you are saying, oh yeah, like 10 pounds in 3 weeks, done, woo. Like, I mean, I'm excited about that for me, but it's got to be so frustrating for you, like, because like this whole, like, we have a channel in the Discord that's about fit, like just being fit and what everybody's doing and their kind of weight loss progress, and all the different diets that people are trying and the different things that they're doing. And I mean, as much as you're happy for other people's success, like you have been making some really great strides in what should be helping you do all the things that we're doing, and seeing no results. Like, I am so shocked that you have stuck with this for as long as you have. Like, you deserve
and
mad
you didn't
props,
give
man.
up.
You never gave up. Like,
right, because giving up isn't an option, but what people haven't seen, what people haven't heard, is how much that hurts, and it's just, this is like very difficult for me, because exactly what you said, I want to be supportive of my friends.
mm-hmm.
I want to cheer their successes, and I want that to be genuine and true. And that green-eyed monster sitting there on your shoulder, during, and Mark Honan, my co-host for Triple T, lost 28 pounds before BlizzCon.
What?
In about 4 or 5 weeks or so. And at that point, I had been at it for about 4 months, and I hadn't lost a thing. And
I ignore men. They make it look easy.
Well, and that's the thing too. Matt and I have been eating the same thing, except he gets bigger portions than I do, and he's lost more weight than me by like double. And I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
Yay, good for you, honey.
It's the hardest thing to try to keep your head straight. When you're feeling compared to your fiance, for your case, or your friends.
Yeah.
So my goal for 2018 is just to keep working at it and keep trying and, not give up, because I could have given up 100 times. Yeah. It's just, I could have given up, but I've come so far. And there have been triumphs. I couldn't do a single push-up before I started doing that, and now I can do them.
I don't think I can do them.
Yeah.
That's one very good distinction to make, Jules, and I think that's like one of the things that you probably have to try to hold on to through all of this is like there's a big difference between being fit and being thin.
Yeah.
You are fit. I am not fit. I am also not thin, but like the more weight I lose, I'm not actually changing. Like I still, if there was a zombie apocalypse right now, you would not want me on your team. Like you would want Jules. Jules can lift things. Jules can run. I cannot do those things.
I'll stand behind you guys and just stick out my arms and try to.
But you know what I mean? Like you are in much, much better shape than either Nevermore or I. You're in much, much better shape than a lot of people, even all the people who are losing all the weight, because you're putting in the work.
Yeah. And it's just, but what you can, and like, this is going to go right back to exactly what you were saying earlier, Joss. You know, you can say that to yourself and you can say, you're doing a good thing. I mean, boy, my trainers and tell me that every day. But my only real gauge of my success at this point is the fact that, you know, is that my clothing hadn't changed, and, you know, that I was doing all of this work, and what I really wanted to do was lose weight, and it wasn't happening, and that felt like failure.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't, you know, I mean, even though I was doing everything I should be doing, it still was like, well, I must not be doing enough. I must still be failing, because obviously I'm not succeeding. And
even though you're doing all of the things that you're supposed to be doing, like you're not having a crazy number of cheat days, you're not, you know, skipping out on your workouts, like you're doing everything that your professional trainers who you're paying are telling you to do.
Yeah.
And it's still not working. Like, yeah, I can see how that would be like. It wasn't that you were failing, it was that you were not succeeding, but that's so easy to twist around and look at negatively.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been a bumpy road, and I haven't, you know, I'm doing the Jules keeps her stiff upper lip thing again, but you know, that's what I've been doing, is just trying to keep positive, keep the complaining behind closed doors, you know, not really show that it's bothering me.
You're allowed to show that it's bothering you. You don't have to complain behind closed doors.
Oh, I know. but I could come on this show and I could, you know, cry about it and not have any solutions, you know?
Okay.
And nobody wants to hear that.
I have a visual for you.
Okay.
Okay. So you have the Jules train of working hard and losing weight, and you're chugging along for a long time, and it's just not working, and you're not talking about it, and it's not. So you're bundling all that in your little caboose, and you don't want anybody to see it, and it's hidden in your caboose,
big enough.
and you're not sharing it. But now, like, you've crossed the hurdle of giving that stupid doctor, which screw that doctor. You gave him this money. He didn't even listen to you or help you, but he pushed you and pissed you off enough that you released your caboose with him on it, and you said, fuck you, shitty doctor, I got this. And you dug deep, and you found out what would work best for you through other people who have struggled like you, and now you're back on track, and you're doing it. So, spin
and now
the
you're going
thing.
super fast because you don't have your stupid caboose.
Yes.
You can't,
So,
you can't
you
go
leave
that
that
fast.
shitty doctor in the caboose, and you tell him goodbye, wave goodbye, and now you're on a positive track, and I'm proud of you, because I know that sucks, and I know that you've really struggled with it, but I am really, really proud of you of how you've kind of turned it around, and I'm glad to hear that you're finding stuff that's working. So
Well, and I almost don't believe it. Like, you know, 2 pounds of being gone just sounds like nothing, but for me, it's everything. It's everything. Because when you've stood on that scale and it's fluctuated within the same 3 to 4 pounds for the last 6 months, and you've been busting your ass and being exhausted half the time, and it still doesn't happen, you know. Yeah. My trainer saw it and got a message, and they said, "Oh my God, you lost 2 pounds!" And I'm like, "Please, well, let's not scare them back on, okay?" I'm not sure yet if this is gonna stick. and I'm even afraid to say it out loud right now because it
Yeah.
literally could be water fluctuation. But it's the first time that I've seen that number on the scale in 6 months, and I'm fucking proud of it.
Yay.
And so, and I'm hopeful that this is the start of the,
Yeah.
you know, because I've only taken the supplement. This is like my 3rd week now.
Mhm.
So,
Good.
okay. So that's a massive goal 2018 is to get that under control.
Mhm.
And, you know, because I think a lot of things will just feel a lot better once that is done, or at
Yeah.
least it is forward moving, you know? So
Progress.
progress. So it was kind of more of an update, but it was also, you know,
That's
the
still
goal.
a
That's
goal.
still a
You guys
goal.
keep
Still
saying
counts.
that stuff isn't a goal. I'm like,
Do you
It's
know what
life.
the word
Everything's
goal
a
means?
Right.
All right then, Nevermore. You're gonna have to explain your goal to me because literally the only thing that Nevermore put in the notes, guys, it just says step 1, pants. So I'm a little confused. I don't know if this is
else
like.
has anything in there.
So is this
Yeah.
like a you need to, you know, wear pants to leave the house? Have you been walking around in your underwear? Or like explain to me step 1,
I
pants.
just wanted to put something silly in there because nobody had anything yet. But it seemed like a good goal to start with. A good, low, achievable goal.
Make sure I put on pants. Check.
Yes,
2018
did it.
success.
Every day. Check. Same old, same old. I mean, we all have talked about weight and stuff. I'm obviously way far behind you guys. We're doing more calorie paying attention to, not so much counting, than we normally have in the past. So we're doing more of that here. Doing better about choices at work. Well, sometimes today I had a cookie, like a big cookie, on top of like we had Mexican food. But I try to do stuff without more carbs and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, I keep my
Well-
coffee creamer, blah blah blah. So
the thing that I
weight
found
loss,
a
yeah.
lot, like where you were mentioning calorie, not necessarily counting, but just paying attention to. That was the biggest thing. I was doing it back when I was trying to lose weight for Nertacular, and I've started doing it again now, is using MyFitnessPal to actually like track what it is that I'm eating, because it has the awesome like barcode scanner, so you can actually get like the nutrition facts from exactly what you're eating, which is I find really, really helpful. And that made a big difference. Just like I did it for the first month on keto, and now I pretty much know what my what my foods are and how much I should have in a day and stuff. So I haven't been tracking it as religiously as I was before, but it made a big difference just knowing how much each thing was that I was eating, you know, like.
Well, you're being way more aware, and
yes,
I think that's
it's awareness,
a huge
exactly.
deal.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it. He has it on his phone. So I get dinner ready and everything, and he'll scan it and figure it out. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So it's like we're working together at it, but I don't have to do like all the math and whatnot. So
That's
he
okay,
just
you're
does
doing all the
scanning,
cooking.
so-
It's a trade-off.
Exactly.
But yeah, like
So,
I
yeah.
found that really helped me a whole lot more than just even when you go to say like a restaurant now in Canada, they have to actually say how many calories are in their meals, right? So they have to say like, you know, with chicken, without chicken, calories, whatever. But even just knowing like for someone to say like, oh, cookies are bad for you, it's like, yeah, okay, fine, but I can have like one because I'm just having one. But then actually having the idea of like how many calories are in the cookie, how many sugars are in the cookie, how much fiber's in the cookie, like knowing that extra step of information of like what you're putting in your body, I found I was much less likely to overeat or to eat poorly when I was actually being given information that was like, this is the sugars and this is the calories and this is this. Like, you can shrug off a cookie. It's a lot harder to just like shrug off a quarter of your daily calories, you know?
Exactly. Like sometimes the menus at lunch, it'll be like, this is like 1,490 calories. And I was like, what?
It's like, so that's
who's
my
eating
day?
this?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'll do a half portion of this because it's like 350 calories. Let's do that. Then I can have a snack later. But yeah, it's just the counting and stuff and keeping track of it's been helping. So, and then the next step is the gym, which I still haven't come back. But the other day I did like look up, like when I went to go get my mail, and I was like, oh, they have 2 little bikes and stuff, like I used to do the recumbent bikes.
Mhm.
So So they like shifted stuff around, and Ben's been going. So he's like, oh, this is different, but I still have this weird like hurdle to get over of like going back and actually going up there.
I get
but
it.
The other thing, ever since I finally kind of decided to start doing it, my knee has been an issue of like, I don't want to mess it up more than it already still is. Because I can walk on it and stuff, but when I bend it back farther, there's still, it doesn't hurt, but there's like tenderness.
Yeah.
So
Is
I
this
don't
still
wanna,
the same from BlizzCon? This still the same injury or?
Still the same
Damn.
injury. So, I mean, and still like my foot will get swollen if I like sit for way, way too long. So that's also part of the goal of this year is to like figure out that. So yay. Healthcare and money here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and honestly, I had a period of time where my feet would like ankles and that kind of thing would swell. And they put me in compression socks of all things. You know, I used to call them my progression socks because they like, but I'll tell you something, and I know it sucks to have like, you know, heavy socks on in the middle of Arizona, but honestly, they increase your circulation and they give you more energy, which is kind of crazy. It's like when I wear them when I fly because it's obviously helping to you know, prevent
I can see how that would help.
blood clots.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I swear, like your legs just feel like they're just like you just get this spring in your step because you have all this oxygen flowing into your legs. I've
actually thought about getting some because I saw.
I have no idea what they are. I'm gonna Google them.
Yeah, they're
like
basically
longer...
knee-high socks that compress in, so they're super tight.
Yeah.
And they put a certain amount of pressure in, so they're meant to increase the blood flow in your legs.
They have Red Canada ones.
Yeah, you could totally do this. They're not the cheapest things in the world, but but I wore them and they really like, especially when you fly, like if you fly at all, because I would get swelling in my feet and legs and that just makes it go away.
There's rainbow ones. Sorry, I'm not shopping right now, guys. That's my goal. Oh my god, that should be a 2018 goal for Jocelyn. Stop shopping.
There you go.
Oh man.
But no, Jules, that is on my list of things to get.
Yeah.
Because I never had a problem. And I mean, like, yeah, we sit and game or whatever, but I've never really had that as an issue ever in my life so far until I hurt my knee. And now my circulation is terrible. Like all the time, like it'll swell up and it looks like the little bread loaf. And I'm just like, oh, this is so frustrating. So once I have more money, that's on my list of things to do. And last year was not tattoo year because of just, you know, BlizzCon and all that kind of stuff. So this year is tattoo year. So that's on my goal. So that's on my goal list. And what else did I think about earlier today? I'm trying to do more because of all this stuff happening with family and all that, which, long story short, if you heard the last episode where we talked about grief and, you know, my grandma passed away and Jules had a kitty pass away and we went through all the sad stuff. Too Long Didn't Read version of all that is how her family like didn't help take care of all that. They've planned the memorial thing. It's in March on my grandma's 80th birthday is the other family's grandma, my mama's remembrance thing. So we're just like, well, like we are very understanding in our tiny side of the family that like they're doing it based on however many people need to come in and all that kind of stuff. So we get it. My grandma probably doesn't actually care. And she doesn't like to go out and do a whole bunch of stuff anyway. So we'll probably do like a more smaller celebration for her. But anyway, so that's like the little mini drama going on where we're just like, okay, like it couldn't have been any other weekend, but whatever.
Yeah.
But with all that going on, like it just, I'm trying to spin it the positive of to focus on the happy stuff. Like spend more time with friends and talk to friends more or see family more, or like we have next week I won't be here on Tuesday because Ben and I are going on vacation. Just us for a whole week.
No way.
Yes. We're going to Disneyland again because that's our favorite thing to do. And like the last few years, like we we love everybody, and we go, we've gone with his sister, and we've gone for BlizzCon and stuff, and he's like, we never go by ourselves. We're not doing Christmas presents because of finances and stuff. He's like, let's go for Christmas, your birthday, Valentine's Day, my birthday. Like, it's just one big,
smoosh it all together. Yep.
Well, and we're just like, we can take our time. We can take our time to drive out there. We can see his parents, who I didn't get to see because of all the stuff going on here. Like, so there's just kind of a whole lot of spend time with people I care about, do the things that make me happy, try to be an adult and like accomplish things that scare the shit out of me, like how we've talked about before. Like, Jocelyn had tax stuff, I have stuff. Like, I'm trying to be better about that and like remind myself, like, it's just a phone call. You can make a phone call. Mm-hmm. You're an adult. Like, it seems stupid, but a lot of people struggle with that. Like,
oh yeah.
So that's on my list of stuff to do.
I always like write or text people if I can help it. I hate calling people so much.
I used to hate like automated not talking to people, and now I'm like, yes, I solved this through like not doing anything. Like, I activated my new credit card in like 3 minutes, and I was like, yes, didn't have to talk to a person.
I'm doing it.
Yep.
So yeah, just stuff like that. Trying to save money more. I mean, I know I just said we're going on a trip, but obviously like, this is very like strict budget, whatever. But I have not been crafting as much, and like seeing Joss do her nails and Jules doing her stuff, like I'm very behind on all of that, and I'm getting to the point where I'm feeling like in the mood after everything that's been going on.
Getting your creativity back after a shocking event or a emotionally trying event is really, really difficult. And I totally understand not feeling creative, not, because that, I mean, it kind of happened to me too with all the nail stuff. Like, I mean, I just wasn't enthusiastic or feeling very creative at all. And it's not because I don't like doing it. It's just like, I just had no ideas and no drive. And I didn't even have anything, really big happen to me the way you did. So, I mean, I completely understand, like, if you don't feel like creating is an interesting job because it like ebbs and flows in a way that a traditional career really doesn't. A traditional career, you can totally phone it in. Like, you can kind of like go into the office and you can click around in your Excel spreadsheets and, like, you can most of the time half-ass it, mindlessly work your way through it, but you can't really do that when you're creating. And it can be really mentally draining. And then it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy or like a negativity cycle, because it's like you feel bad, so you don't create, and then you don't create, so then you feel bad, so then you feel bad, so you don't create, and on and on and on. And at least speaking for myself, when I was in more traditional careers, when I was in management and everything else, like, I didn't need anything outside of my job to like motivate me or keep me going. Or like, if I was tired, if I was hungover, I was like, whatever, I just sit in my office and like, just do whatever stupid little mindless task I can get away with that day. But you can't do that as a podcaster or as a streamer or as a artist, which is, kind of covers the whole gamut of what the three of us do. So yeah, I totally get that you're saying that you're only now kind of coming back to a place where you feel like you can create again. A lot of people don't understand that it really takes a lot out of you to create, and you need a lot going in to feel creative.
Exactly. And right before Christmas, because I was having issues with my camera and it was frustrating me, and Jocelyn's like, well, this is what I use. I'm like, I know, that's why I bought it. I'm like, I don't know, my computer's just dumb, and like really frustrated with it. Well, I bought one that Mick suggested around Christmas, and it's been in the box, but I did test it a little bit that day that I got it. So I'm excited to get that set up and test it, because I'm like 95% sure that it'll work the way I need it to and for what I need it to. So I'm excited to use that. But aside from getting back into crafting, the thrifting that I've been doing to save money to like start building money to buy a house, which we're really behind on because we haven't been saving money. But I've been doing really, really good of trying to get pictures taken of items and list them.
Hmm.
And I'm not listing tons, but I'm listing some, like little by little, getting stuff done.
Which is
I have
great.
tons of stuff to sell. Don't get me wrong. I have tons of like clothes that I've bought to resell and whatever, and I have not done it. But I am trying to like, if he's busy doing something, I'll grab a couple things that I think are kind of neat, take them, go get some pictures of them. So I have them on my phone. And then like if we're in bed ready to fall asleep, I might sit there and tinker on it and try to list one item. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
promote it and whatever, hashtag it, whatever.
Baby steps.
And yes, and I've been selling things. And like this
Yay.
morning, I listed 4, because the 5th one I can't find because it's the Lululemon stupid athletic brand where there's like 10 million different product names for things.
Mhm.
Like they have special like style names. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to list it, I can't just be like, it's that pants or that shorts. Like I want people who are like, I really want this style name to like find
be
it
able to
and
find
pay more
it,
money
yeah.
for it. So I'm like, I need it to be really specific. So anyway, I found 5 of that brand the other day and listed 4 of them because the 5th one I can't figure out what the hell it's called. And I sold one this morning for $34.
Nice.
So I was like,
Wow.
cha-ching.
Doesn't it
like
feel
that.
good when it's like stuff that's just been sitting around creating like stress-inducing mess that then turns into just money?
Yeah. And I'm getting better at it and like figuring out what I want to do and whatever. And so like the whole goal with that is to use that as extra money to put a down payment on a house. And like that probably won't be this year, but it's building the habit of setting stuff aside specifically for that. So I'm getting to do what I like to do while also benefiting both of us and a future. So working on it.
Yes. Yes.
Good job, Nevermore. Well, I think that's pretty much it for our goals for 2018. Kind of got to some of them in a roundabout way, but I think it was a good discussion for the
yeah.
most part. Jules, I don't want to keep you too much longer because I know you have another podcast to do tonight. So I think we'll wrap it here. We do have some listener feedback that we will talk about next episode. It was actually a question that came in from Hachikumo in the Discord who said a question kind of related to the recent update episode. Which do you fear more, eternity or death? So we had some really good conversation going on in there, some responses and stuff that I'll share next week. But if that's a topic that you feel that you want to kind of have your voice heard, then please do let us know. You can hit us up in the Discord. It's discord.gg/JossPlays, or you can also email demonspodcast@gmail.com. So just a little preview there of what we'll be talking about in our listener feedback section next week. Jules, where can folks find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at JulesRPG. You can find me on the podcast that I do, Convert to Raid, which is going to happen tonight in about an hour, at twitch.tv/Convert to Raid, and Tauren Think Tank, twitch.tv/Tauren Think Tank on Thursday nights. And you can find my Etsy store, chainofjewels.etsy.com, and my website, chainofjewels.com. I just listed a whole bunch of Overwatch League colored keychains that have been flying off the shelves, yo. So if you're an Overwatch League,
awesome.
they're so much fun. So if you are an Overwatch League fan, or
those are the ones with
What's
the
that?
marbles in them, right?
yes,
Those
yes,
were really cool.
they're
Yeah,
super
they are.
cool. So yeah, go check them out. They're all on my Etsy store right now, and that's chainofjewels.etsy.com.
Excellent. Nevermore, where can folks find your crafting stuff?
For my crafting stuff, it will be, well, you can just follow me on Twitter because that's probably where I'll post updates of everything. It's at Quota Nevermore. My Etsy is geekasylum.etsy.com, which will have crafting stuff. And I should be streaming more, and you guys should harass me because I have a con in like a couple months, and then a con after that in a couple months. So I need to really start prepping for that. But yeah, so yeah. And
We
I'll
should
post all
start-
my adventures of that and Poshmarking and all that kind of stuff too. So
We should start co-streaming again and get our crafty
Yes.
co-stream
Yes.
stuff going.
yeah.
Now that all
I've been
three of
trying
us
to
are more into
stream
it.
once a week at least, so definitely.
Yep. All right, so I think that's going to do it for us tonight. If you'd like to find me, you can find me online. I am Twitter and Twitch is the same. I'm at Joss Plays. Also, something I've started doing on the recommendation of Jules, which has been really helpful, I feel like, for both me and my fans, since my schedule is all over the place all of the time with all of the different podcasts that I'm doing. Sometimes my stream schedule was confusing for people. So what I've started to do is there's a new widget on twitch.tv/JossPlays down at the bottom that will show you a countdown to my next stream. And the way I'm actually doing that is by creating Twitch events. So you can go to twitch.tv/JossPlays/events, and it'll show you the upcoming week of my stream schedule. So it changes every week, but there are some things that I do all the time. Like we always do a Tuesday night Slaying Demon stream, whether it's gameplay or podcast. I always stream my Tuesday night raid. And so there's some of the live recorded podcasts are there too. So if you're interested in what I'm going to be doing for the week, twitch.tv/JossPlays/events is the best place to go. You can actually follow the streams that you're interested in watching, and it'll send you notifications, not only when I go live, but like a reminder that the event is coming up. So I found that's the best way to handle my schedule. I hope you guys like it. There were some events from last week, which was my first week doing it, that actually like people were like following and stuff. So people are using it, and I'm really stoked about that. So Jules, thank you so much for the idea. I think it's totally perfect for me, and it's exactly what I needed, because I couldn't post a stream schedule because I was like, I don't know, some Mondays I can, some Mondays I can't. I don't know. So it's been really helpful for me, and it helps keep me honest too, right? I'm like, well, I posted this event, people are following it. I have to stream my nails today because I said I would. So it kind of is a way to keep me accountable to you guys, the viewers. So I'm really excited about it. Again, that is twitch.tv/JossPlays/events. So please do go and check it out. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week for maybe some Heroes, maybe some Fortnite. I don't know, but we get to play games.
I won't be there. I'll be at
Jules and I get to play games.
Jules and I get to play games.
Okay, but only if you promise to blow people up for me, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Of course.
All right, guys. Again, yeah, that's it for us this week. See you later. Worst outro ever.